when the train is standing still, we have the gravity that is acting on the train, right? But not only gravity, we also have the normal force. So what happens is the normal force is in equal magnitude to the force of gravity, but in opposite directions. Hence why the train is on the other side. But then immediately when the train starts to accelerate, now we have the wheels that are exerting force. Now we call that drive force. So another thing, when the train accelerates, there'll also be active on the side. So its force is specifically called aerodynamic drag. So we did literature review to find out when does aerodynamic drag start influencing. So we find out that aerodynamic drag is present on cars or an object that is in motion at speeds of above 40 kilometers per hour. So we found out that for our train, it won't be influential because our solar locomotive does not reach up to 40. So we have managed to kick out aerodynamic drag somewhere. And
that means you have kinetic energy that's being transformed into heat exchange. Feel that comes your hand and more and more. That we have calculated what
in case for young kids who don't understand the term aerodynamics, it's actually the body and the shape of how our train looks. So if you can see those racing cars, they are more aerodynamics because their speed is more than 40 kilometers per hour. So ours is an angle of 60 degrees, so it doesn't actually have any consider the aerodynamics. So I think I made it clear aerodynamics. Yes.
So now this and that it falls into the batteries, and then the batteries chain up. The electrical energy gets transferred to the kinetic energy, and then the kinetic energy moves through the wheels and then the track goes. So you don't use diesel, you don't use petrol that at Yolanda can be changed. So what happens is a number of trees that apply to different subjects that have to use typically in order to produce the solar locomotive. So whatever it is that some letters have been shared, like for example, we have been shared now, how does it start? But then for our solar locomotive, the subject that has been used welding. So we have students from our school that are doing this way that allows them to try to use what they know in order to produce this. So we need to know that learning can be practical, and that is why our school actually became a school of experience. But our planet only has so much. What is working here? I see your tires are flat. What's going on here?
Good morning, students. They convert the light into electrical energy that is then used by the motor. So what the motor does is that it generates mechanical energy. It generates electrical energy into mechanical energy so that the car or our solar locomotive can begin to move. Right? So what we have is, hence you can see your teacher said we have flat tires. Those are not flat tires, but the reason why they are like this is for them to be compatible with a railway. So this is a train. So if it is a train, it has to travel on railway surface. So the wheels are like that in order for them to be compatible with a railway. So what happens is we have the middle side, which is narrower, ensure the ergonomics. Right? So in order to ensure the safety, now we pay attention to the forces that act on our solar locomotive. because it's like aerodynamic drag. Now you may ask, what is aerodynamic drag? Aerodynamic drag is the force that air exerts on any object that is in motion. Right? Aerodynamic to move is a 10 kilowatt motor. I'll give my partner here a chance to elaborate.
More unique and more user-friendly to the community. We've done this thing for it to be more commercial, because there was a time in South Africa the housing got stuck around Midrand and there were business people inside the train, therefore they were stuck inside. This is a solution to the country, and we made this to become commercial, and we intend to do more sharing, because it's a continuous research and continuous learning curve, which can end up being more commercial to the whole world and begin to make mass production to the other countries. Right here, it is the origin of the students without any speciality.
You see the difference now. Yeah. Even if I don't come closer, the mic can.
Because right here we apply
4K.
education.
Yeah.
Because I was considering the sport.
But it's not the entire picture. You want to get as much information as possible, and we can use the internet. You can use connections. You can go to institutes, to technical universities, and you can ask, I want to learn about this. If this interests you, you can learn so much, and then the more info you absorb, the more you can then dispense and create, and you can shape the world and create something using like as a solar train. So, yes,
To add on what you asked, in terms of if we manage to build this school. So,
yes.
so what happens is our school is a technical school. So we have most of the material here at our school. So we have learners from our school that do subjects like welding or plumbing. So here we've been using mostly steel and galvanized sheets. The steel bars that we're using are at school. So the material is already there for us to use in order to come up with something like this. But then there are times whereby we did not have certain material in order to do something like the galvanized sheets that we use for the body frame. We had to find companies in order to get access to the exact.
So the majority thereof is it almost recycled steel that you guys use, or is the steel that you said you had on the premises? Where did you get that from? So the school provided the resources to be able to do that. Okay. But yeah, so if you look at the bigger picture as well, for their school to obtain these resources, that they can use recycling, because you can take a dilapidated old wreckage, and you can take that mix and rework it and to shape a completely new one. So thus we do not waste any material. We want to reuse it, but use it again and again and again. want to accelerate. How about it? Now we go accelerate. Safe for braking. If you want to brake. So the smaller the vehicle is, the less on factors that they actually use reducing the
We started first with a model using recycled materials, as he was emphasizing that we used really more recycled materials. We used a model of boxes. Exactly the same thing that is Let's be optimistic and say a day at least. Any questions?
Yes. The tablets are for monitoring the system. Even your phone, when you charge it, it tells you the percentage.
Yes.
So if we have the battery pack there, and then it monitors the charge rate. You can see it changes.
It actually has an allowance, more allowance to actually another cages, so that it can be able to have the power more better. And the reason why this as you can see now, Expo in the country is suffering from supplying small houses. So, and also affecting which stage to negotiate and it affects objects like such as here. So without electricity, change cannot happen. So our parents and brothers and sisters, they are not able to go to work and come back from home because of there is no change. So we actually come up with a much more innovative solution to that. And the maximum speed of this is 30 kilometers per hour. Yes, for one transportation, yes, or for one season. So in terms of the digital, what we have also discussed.
So one thing that we should in terms of identify whatever whatever to come up with a solution. So we know that we have right? Some of us sometimes.
So on top of that, we have solar panels.
So what you know is
like ours. And then from the pictures, you guys
motion of the tires on the railway track. So one thing you may be concerned about the shape of our tires, right? So what happens is they are designed in such a way that the wheels they cling to the track surface when it moves, so that it does not fall or topple over. Also, keeping in mind that we have another force, which is inertia. Now, inertia, we know that it is the one that resists an object's motion. Yeah, that is it about our Sonata.
Okay, so what have you got inside?
What we have inside are the
Still busy.
But in case you can tell us, what we have inside, there's a small screen, a tablet that has got an app that actually tells us how much light does our solar panels receive and how much voltage is left in the battery. So the app actually alternates to the monocrystalline solar panels and also the batteries. So we can be so we can be able to determine the charges of the batteries, how many volts are left or how many volts are needed. Even if we take one trip, we must always be alert to also watch our screen there, so that we can know when to actually stop and let the train charge and cover up the voltage, so that it can be able to take another trip again.
Okay, so what is the name of that?
The app is Techno App.
So what right there? This is basically almost like a phone, right? So you know that your phone, when it reaches a certain percentage, you need to know that now it's time for me to charge. Maybe let's say below maybe 20 or 30, right? So we also can track the percentage that is currently at, whether it is 90%, 80%, so that we can know at what time we need to start charging. But then, as we say, each lithium battery has 48 volts, so we have 4 of them, so it is more than enough for now.
Okay, but in future, are you going to put in the engine in this thing?
An engine?
Yes.
No, what happens, we use a motor. We use a motor, so as you say, that there's
As in
monocrystalline.
motor, is it electrical or is it?
It's electric. So the monocrystalline solar panels, they take the light photons from the sun and they convert them into electrical energy. And then now what the motor does, the motor that we have is a 10 kilowatt motor. It takes that electrical energy and converts it into mechanical energy. So it begins to rotate. And what you can also see is in the middle with 2 differentials. So the motor converts that electrical energy into mechanical energy, hence also communicates with the differential so that the solar locomotive can move. So we are good with the motor.
Yeah, it's just that sometimes you get that they start a project, but the project is only applicable for the learners that don't do it. Because you said you were mechanical. So that is interesting to know that there is a working engine inside.
We are not only mechanical, we have mechanical technology, like we pay the measure of the structure.
So in case of civil technology, it is much more responsible when it comes to creating railways. So for railways, we use civil technology techniques, because you cannot build a railway on a certain surface without knowing what the surface, what it is under the surface. Maybe it's a wet surface or what. We have to go and survey and check whether the surface is more stable and more good enough to actually support the structure. So on our railway, we have small ballasts which normally we know them as concrete, those rocks that are there to support the sleepers, those linters that stays horizontally to the railway. So they're responsible to connect the train so that it can be stable. In the ballast or the concrete, it is added on top to actually take the load downwards so that the train can the railway can be stable or to move on the other side. And also it is an high steel beam. So as you can see in the wood here, it is more of a cone shape. It is not straight or flat, so that it can be able, when the train moves this side, it can be able to actually change there so that it cannot fall. That's the collaboration of the subject 3 shades that we have. Yeah.
So you guys are outside. Those guys say, can you make come in here?
I get a question. So it is still on steel materials. So a steel on steel is much more less effective. Because if we used a steel on concrete, as you can look, the steel will be affected. But hence, that's why we use a railway track that is in a steel. So a steel on steel has much more friction on it. So that
Make sure once others, if they are done, they should get out so that we get another one inside. Those who are done, they should get out. Come this way. This side, no?
The screens are actually responsible to carry that whole at this point. Yes, the students of our it's not a house for them for a fact that the limitations. If in order for us to actually have that high speed, we had to find aluminum sheets so that we can bend the boat to actually affect
Sorry, guys.
aerodynamic force. That's where we actually discovered that no, we cannot see. We are not able to actually see the speed of what the aerodynamic force gets affected at the object that moves. More than 4 kilometers. So that's we don't have aluminum bending shape. As you can see how so that's why so we used it's a 60-degree angle here. Yeah, it's a 60-degree angle so that you can actually be seen that no, this is a not a box thing, like, you know. So that's what sure.
Electricity or batteries?
Great question. That one is an important question. So the solar panels, we have what you call converters and battery chargers. The reason why we have batteries is when the solar panels receive light in the form of photons, the energy moves directly to the battery. So it is
Plug-in is going to charge the battery, which then I think the battery is the one that supplies energy to the motor. So while the motor is going to convert the electrical energy into the mechanical energy, the motor is going to run the wheels for this movement of the train. You can see there's no steering wheel other trains or other.
So what happens is we know that in order for you to be successful in whatever that you want to do, you need to have the mindset of coming up with a solution. The mindset of whatever it is that you have to do
Use usable materials, usable but those are not plastic.
those things that you see, so we actually cutted them to actually create small particles of rope on the side. And we're going to create scrapyard to actually so the good thing here is the glass.
So now what is the Bloemfontein that you were discovering?
The carpet, the also bedding. The forces that are coming directly into it. And so the monocrystalline solar panels are more efficient and more costly. Because they supply 390 volts and they get light, not heat, they get light from the sun, and they convert, the inverter converts the current into from DC to AC current. And we have to create our prototype, and it is displayed there. As you can see, it's our prototype from wasted materials, boxes, and also rocks to combine everything that you can see on there. So the prototype
Biggest
is
game.
a representation of what everything that
You say on top, no?
a small magnitude that you
Try around. That's what you turn it.
Listen guys, thank you very much. It's very inspiring as a teacher to see school kids getting involved. Ek hoop dit inspireer julle. Want kyk hoe baie kan hulle bereik. Right.
We are from many different trades, so I don't know if you guys want to go inside and explore.
Yes, and also, okay, my name is Varsities and I'm one of the students who are participating in the Soshanguve trade. So also to emphasize the most important fact is that we actually use different and collaborating materials and methods. So we used wasted materials, or what you call recycled materials, to actually create what you see here. Firstly, from our prototype, which is a small thing that you design before you actually make. We used wasted materials such as boxes, rocks, and also small particle screws, and also the sticks that they use on the lollipops to actually create a tray. So our prototype is basically made from boxes, and from what you see on the prototype, it's exactly the practical thing that we see. So we were controlled by our prototype to actually create this. So that's the engineering method, or the methodology that we actually used. And again, we didn't know anything. We are blank as much as you are. We are blank as much as you are. So we actually started with literature review. Literature review is basically researching on different articles. We went to Google, YouTube, and researched videos about how a train is made, and the mechanical process of the whole system that we use here. And we read other articles about the solar, because we don't specialize in solar. We knew nothing about solar, but because of the literature review and the thrive, and because we have that engineering goals, that mentality that we need to reach this, we hadn't stopped. We went and researched more about how a train is made, so that we can actually come up with this. So what you see here, it comes from the research and the mentality of these students here. So we combine our mentality and the method from different articles, and we combine them and come up with 48 volts. So our motor is 10 kilowatts. 10 kilowatts. So for 10 kilowatts motor, in order to rotate, it needs more than 10 volts. So actually, one of the lithium batteries now is actually supply the current to our motor, so that we can. So that's all about that. And one thing I can say is that what we have learned is that if you need to create everything as a team, you need to actually be there for each other, encourage each other, have that thrive mentality, and I'm telling you, you will reach the goal.
Like it was great. I mean,
Great.
yeah, it's great.
Okay. How was it in one word?
Oh, the exhibition.
Yeah.
The exhibition was so perfect. I made new friends, especially from
One word.
overseas. Zero, one word? Okay, it was spectacular.
Fantastic.
One word, it was epic.
Sure.
Sorry?
How was it in one word? One word.
Well, it was super spendifluously Zagami.
How was it? Fun?
Excellent.
Yes.
Superb.
Well, it was super califragilisticexpialidocious.
It was super great.
I make rent again.
It was so nice. Marvelous. Exhausting.
It was fantastic and exhausting.
But
One word.
so it was nice. All good. Thank you so much.
Sure. How was the experience so far?
It was really fun. It was great telling learners our experience with the car and then seeing the enthusiasm, hearing the questions that they have to ask.
Yes.
And then you can see there was a real interest in the technology and the development of cars.
So did you gain anything from the question that they were posing to you?
There weren't questions that we had difficulty answering. Most of the questions were what we had expected, and so there was not. I can't say there was a specific question that I had to think about and then say, okay, maybe you can use that. So yeah, but the other questions you can see that they were well thought through in terms of questions.
They were listening.
Yes, definitely. And they were thinking.
Oh, thinking, listening and thinking
Yes.
at the same time. Okay, that's great. Thank you. How's it?
Good.
I'm good.
Great experience.
Learners asking you questions.
It's been wonderful. No, it's, being able to speak to everybody who hasn't seen this before or anything like this, just seeing people's reaction, their excitement to it, it's great. Also seeing the engineers of the future who will hopefully one day also join in a review and also help build amazing projects like these.
So any takeaway from the question that they were imposing to you that you feel like they were really challenging?
No questions today. They were more young. Actually, a couple of students did pose some good questions. Some of the students who are good with programming did give us a couple of suggestions that we might have to look into in the future.
Yes.
But no, it's great. It's great to see everyone's reactions and just listen to what people have to say with it.
Yeah, it was a great exposure for everyone.
It was, and I hope everyone else who came to see all the solar cars enjoyed it as much as we did.
Did you see the locomotive train?
I saw it briefly, yes.
Briefly. What do you think of it?
It's very interesting. I actually like it. I like it quite a lot.
Yeah, but do you believe that it was built by high school learners from grade 10 to grade 11 and grade 12?
Really?
Yes.
No way. That's really impressive.
Yes.
No, it's some of these people and teams and everything, they've done incredible jobs with low budgets and short time. It's really great. And this one team that also only built their buggy in about 6 months.
Yes, 6 months.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard at least. So no, it's great. Another team also built their car in a year, and they're also here ready to compete. Their car looks very good. So we're just hoping for the best for everybody, and hopefully everybody enjoys the event.
Yes, but hopefully we will have more of such events, right?
Hopefully, yes. And hopefully the teams that are competing here inspire other universities and high schools and everything to also join us in the future. And also, because these projects really help with the students to get them experience and get them some real world hands-on experience with big projects and really complicated systems.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. It was really fun. Even us as elders, we just learned something. It was so fun. Please subscribe. Comment.
It was perfect. We really enjoyed to be here, and we also want to thank the organizers, especially Sasol. Dr. Malinga, how's Gugu? Thank you very much for inviting us and give us space to come and present and showcase the talents and the skills that the Soshanguve Automotive specialization learners have done. So far, we are grateful. Don't forget us in any event that comes. We are there.